Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma. In this video, we will set up a Eureka Service Discovery Server, a client which will also be a registered instance, and will also query Discovery Server using our client. To begin with, let's navigate to Spring Initializer. Over here, we'll select Gradle project, Spring Boot version 262, Java. Let's change our group ID and the artifact as Eureka Server. So this will be our server. We are selecting Java version 17, and in the dependency search for Eureka and the server. That's all we need for the server. Click on generate and we'll save it. We need another a server client, and for this there will be two dependencies: Eureka discovery client and Spring Web. We are going to create a REST controller. Okay, let's navigate to downloads folder. We got the two projects. Let's extract them. So here you have the two Gradle projects. You can import them in your favorite ID. I have imported them in IntelliJ. So let's first set up the Eureka server. And for that, we are going to our Eureka server application Java file. And here we're going to add enable Eureka server. That's all we need at the Java end. Now at the configuration side, I have changed my properties file to YAML file. You can keep it as properties, or if you prefer YAML, you can go with YAML also. Let's define a port 762. We are going to add Eureka client register with Eureka as false because this is our server and we don't want our server to register itself as a client. And then fetch registry. Okay, so that's all we need at the server end. Let's start our server. So once our server is started, as you can see over here, we'll go to the browser and hit the configured port localhost 8762, and here you can see that you are getting a Eureka console over here. Let's get back to our IntelliJ, and now we are good with the server end. Let's configure the client. I'm in the client project, and over here we are just going to update the configuration file port. Let's define a port for this one. Let's define a name for our application, Eureka server client, and now let's configure it to interact with our server. So for that, we'll provide this configuration. And that's it. Let's start our application. So I'm starting the client. So now our client application is started, and over here you can see that application is started and it also interacting with our Eureka server. It's got a registration status 204, and after a few seconds the response status is 200. So let's see how Eureka is reporting it. So on our browser, we just refresh this page, and here you can see a client is registered. Now using this client, Let's try to interact with our discovery server. And for that, let's create a controller. So I'm creating a controller package. Let's create a test controller and we'll annotate it with REST controller. And for this one, let's create a method and we will making it as a get request handler, expecting it to respond on get info path. Now to interact with our Eureka server, there is a bean provided by our dependency Eureka client, and we will just auto wire it. So when I'm saying dependency, I'm actually referring to this dependency in our client project, this one. Now let's get back to our controller. Let's create an application object, the shared one, application, and using our Eureka client, we are hitting the discovery server and expecting information of any app we want. So currently our registered app is with name Eureka server client. So let's use that. And now we are using this object to return the registered instance ID. So client application dot get instances dot get 0 dot get instance ID. So if you can see over here, using the client application object, I am calling method get instances, which will provide me list of all the instances. And the reason for that is that there is a possibility my client service is running with multiple instances and is registered to the Eureka server. So I can get a list of instances, and from there I am fetching the first one, because in our current setup there is only one instance registered, but over here you can see there is a possibility that you have multiple instances of same application name but with different IPs and ports. So that's all we need from here. And now let's save it and restart our client application. So now our client is restarted. Let's go to terminal and try to hit our client endpoint, which is get info. So here we go. We got the information of our registered instance, which is the IP and the port and the name we provided. So that's how you can query the Eureka server, and there are various other methods you can explore on using the Eureka client. So if you are trying to perform these steps and you are getting some issue at this one, some kind of exception, there might be a possibility that your client is not fully registered before you are hitting the endpoint. So in that case, just wait for a couple of more seconds and then try to perform this operation again. That's all in this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or feedback, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you.